Well, he won.
What's changed?
Boy. In some ways, nothing. I guess, on one hand, sure, you can say equipment has changed, nutrition has changed, but we were just having that discussion. The same bikes that were used in '82 could win the race today. Because when it comes down to it, it's not the bike. If you got a bike that can go across the country at average 16 miles an hour, you'll do pretty well. And all those old bikes could do that. So it always if second place rolls into the finish line and said, I feel great, it's like, well, you really shouldn't feel great. The only one that should finish and feel great would be the winner, because they did what they had to do. Everybody else should basically look like, trash by the time they get in, because they pushed themselves to the limit. And I was having a discussion with the tandem team. They were trying to break our tandem record. And I said, this is going to come, it comes more down to durability than cycling ability. Because I said, after 3 days, it's not fun anymore. And it's not cycling ability anymore. It's how much abuse you can put up with. Because everything's going to hurt, everyth's going to go wrong, and that's what you're dealing with. And the people that are really good riders, of course, Christoph Strasser, of course, he's a great cyclist, but he's also dealing with all the other little things that go wrong. And that's really what I think separates the successful RAAM riders is problem management, not necessarily pain management, but problem management. It's you're helping somebody else do it, so it's that part of it too, which is, their planning and is coming together and helping them do it. And I've crewed with my wife a bunch of times, and I've crewed for some other relay teams and stuff like that, and it's actually very satisfying. You don't get any credit for anything, but that's not the point. Everything's done anonymously, and that's okay.
Did you tell him about 91 with Tom and you?
Oh yeah. The reason I'm doing it with Tom, because in 1991 we did it on a tandem together, and we had this idea that we could break Pete Pinsear's and my tandem record, which was set in 1987 of 7 days, 14 hours. And so we're thinking, we'll do it again. Tom and I'll do it, and we'll break it. Well, this route, we did a little different route at the start, but it came across Colorado. It turned here and went down through New Mexico and in a different route through Texas, and eventually went to Savannah. And Tom ended up, he was 19 years old at the time. So anyway, he gets a little, started to get heat stroke the last half of the race, and we were looking at the splits of where we should be in relationship to Pete and my record, and we got to be 24 hours behind schedule. And we're like, we're going to fail. We're not going to do it. And actually, to finish this race in 8 days, 14 hours is a pretty good time. But it's that mentality of like, you're not going to break the record, so you're going to fail. And we actually could have taken 2 or 3 all-night sleep breaks, added 24 hours to our time over the last 4 days, and finished in 9 days, 14 hours, which still would be a pretty fast time. And so but we just didn't have that perspective at the time. And now in hindsight, going into the race with Tom was like, okay, you got to finish. That's the main thing. If you go close to 10 days, that's even better. But the main thing is to finish. So, you've got a different maturity, I think, towards record setting and goal setting now.